What's up, folks? Welcome back. I want to give you guys a deck profile for the deck I used to go 3-1 just the other day at Level Up Games in Baltimore, Maryland. Now, this is the deck I used throughout the entire tournament, minus two things. I made a swap out in the beginning after winning my first round. So you all will see all my matches. I will have them all up for you guys with analysis over top. But I had two Utas in the deck. And I know a lot of people run Uta, sometimes four, just to bring back cards that have been trashed. But I swapped her out because my thought process is, yeah, she's great to bring back cards that went to the trash. But if I can protect cards from going to the trash in the first place, I won't have to waste the Don. So I got rid of these two and put in, I put in two Red Hawks. I swapped these two out for the two Red Hawks. And also made a couple adjustments beforehand. But that was the big change I did there. So I want you all to just take a look at and see what I'm working with here. So for the big thing for me is having a bunch of 2K counters. So I try to have everything as 2K as possible. So this Luffy right here is the promo Luffy. And he's in here because he is a 2K counter. Before, I would run, I thought about adding VV, or just anybody, like another little pseudo attacker. But I wanted to use this one because I had Gordon as well as a 2K counter. But Gordon, I never attack with Gordon. Even though Gordon is 3 for 4 and a 2K counter, his ability I never use. But with this guy on the field, this is terrifying because with 2 Don, he goes up to 7,000. And then with the leader of Zoro, he goes up to 8,000, which is fantastic. 1 second. So that's why I picked up 4 of these to add here, because it replaces Gordon, my 4 Gordon, which I was never going to use for attack. And again, with the 2 Don, he goes up to 8,000 with the leader, 7,000 solo. That's intimidating for only a cost of 3. And when I ran against a blue player the other day, they bounced him back to my hand using the ability, which is great because then I just kept him as a counter. So he got the work I needed on the field. He took out, I think, 1 or 2 bodies and then got bounced back to my hand, which was great as a 2K. I have 3 Nico Robins here. I went into the tournament only having 2. I purchased 2 more and then couldn't find 1. So I ended up buying 1 more before I left. So I have 5 Nico Robins, but I ended up probably putting a 4th one in there. Maybe though, because she is only a 1K counter. But what I like about her a lot is people are afraid of her. They're just afraid of her ability. So they end up just using whatever ability they have to get rid of her. But on the other hand, I may end up swapping out a Nico Robin. I bought 4 of these for this guy. So he's only a 2 cost for 3, but his ability to take the Don, the rested Don, really resonates highly with me. And he's still a 1K counter. And he can be KO'd by a strike character, which are few and far between. But I think it's something that somebody's going to not think about. And they may attack with, let's say, like Sanji, a strike Sanji, and hit him. And it doesn't KO him. They kind of forget about it. So they might save me. Just from, user error. I had Shanks in there. I was thinking about taking Shanks out and replacing him just with something else because he is a big body, but usually when I bring him out, it's the fear of running into a 10-drop Kaido or a 9-drop Kaido. Luckily, I didn't go against any purple, so that was a saving grace for me there. I added in the Otamas, of the 4 Otamas, mainly for the jet pistol combo and the 2K counter. 4 of the 1-drop choppers. Now, what I am debating on adding into the deck, because a lot of people say, when you're running Zoro, Rush Zoro, you want to just go all gas, no brakes. I get it, but I can see a downside to that. Because if you're running all gas, no blockers, no way to protect your characters, you're running the risk of just having them destroy. And what you'll notice in my last match, when I was 3-0 going against my opponent, I made a very crucial mistake of, 1, I didn't mulligan when I should have mulliganed, but 2, I didn't have any blockers. I didn't have any blockers, no 2K counters, so that's what cost me a lot of my characters. And of course, you can bring them back because they're all low-cost characters, but instead of having to bring back a Zoro with 3 Don, I can just, if I protect him with counters or blockers, then the next turn I can just load up. So let's say I drop 3-drop Zoro, right, on the field, and he only cost me 3. So he attacks, that's 5,000. But then I also drop out Chopper or Bart, say I have 5 Don, drop out Bart, and I have Bart there as a blocker for the next turn. So yeah, Zoro this turn could have attacked for higher, but now there's a blocker to deal with and can save him for another turn to do more damage and not have to cost me another 3 Don, even if I don't have it. 4 of the, the quick Luffys. This guy saved me in a practice match and a couple moments when I came out, top decked them, needed them. It was fantastic. I will say Red Hawk, the 2 Red Hawks I'm running here, came in fantastically. It came in once. My opponent had Mihawk, and this came out of my prizes, gave his Mihawk negative 10,000. That deaded his attack. Because it does a leader or the character, which is fantastic. Obviously, the jet pistol popping up is fantastic as well. I have 3 of these in here. I might reduce it down to 2. But I like using my character Nami to search for like Diablo Jambe or jet pistol, and then using this to grab an actual character. I have this Nami in here. I like her a lot. She's starter deck Nami, but I may end up switching her out as well for one of the Luffys because he just gives himself the 2 rested Don. So I don't have the flexibility of giving that 1 Don to whoever I want, but having the Luffy that can give 2 to himself, I think it's more than enough. So I might end up swapping him out for swapping him out for something, or her out for something. I'm probably going to try and figure out how to add in another 2-drop Sanji, just for the rush ability, because I need to have as much rush as possible. So I have 4, 8, 10, and then 11 rushers essentially. And I want more because this whole deck just revolves around obviously just rushing in. Diablo Jambe was a saving grace for 2 of my matches. It was the only reason I won. My opponent had hella blockers on the field, and I dropped the Jambes, went straight in for the kill. But pretty much this is it so far. So I'm gonna make some adjustments before my tournament today, and yeah, just go from there. But let me know what you think about this deck combination, and when you watch the matches that you'll see coming up after this, let me know what you would have played differently. Because my biggest concern while I was playing all those matches, even though I won my 3 matches, at no point was I comfortable, because if my opponent would have pushed harder or rushed in harder or anything, I would have been on the back pedal. And I felt as though me not having, significant enough blockers and counters, even though I run like 14 counters or 2K counters, just wasn't enough. So I got a couple changes to make here to make me feel more comfortable when I'm playing. But I would love to hear your opinion on the deck. And yeah, we'll see how it goes today, if I can do better than 3-1. So yeah, do me a solid favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you can, please go home and tell your grandfather that you love him. See ya.